Well, it's finally time to talk about the League Cup final, isn't it? As you can see, there is a smile on my face. I have dodged a hangover. I feel great, I feel on top of the world, but maybe that is just down to the fact that Ange Postecoglou and Celtic have delivered the first piece of silverware of the season, the first in the Ange era, and ultimately are providing us with some memories that will last for a long, long time at the moment. Before we dive into my final recap, I want to just quickly say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing recently. We're now entering the last couple of weeks of the year, so if you haven't already, please make sure to go down below and hit the big red subscribe button. We're going to try and get as many subscribers on board by the time 2021 is finished, so it is appreciated if you jump down there and do that. Also, very quickly, shout out to Kieran Goldie, because I don't want my balls booted next time I go to the pub, so there it is. Shout out to you, wee man. I don't even know where I begin. Where do I start with this review, this recap, this 3 things we've learned? I don't know how I'm going to go about this and what direction I'm going to go through it with, but listen, no bad for a manager who'd be sacked by Christmas. We heard that a lot. And look, listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I was okay with everything from the very start, because I was critical of the appointment of Ange Postecoglou, but the difference is Celtic fans wanted him to succeed, and I think that you'll agree in saying that there's not been a manager in recent memory, I think, that we've wanted to succeed so much because of that attitude that came from rivals and came from maybe some aspects of the media as well. Mostly rivals, but, you know, that kind of attitude of, oh, he's Kashinya, he's going to fail, he'll be gone by Christmas. It spurred Celtic fans on to believing in someone more than any manager I've seen in my lifetime. You know, I've been lucky enough to grow up in a generation that's seen success with Martin O'Neill, Gordon Strachan, Neil Lennon, Ronnie Dylat, Brendan Rodgers. You know, some very, very excellent managers. I have been so blessed and spoiled with success since my birth. But none of those managers, I think, we've wanted to see succeed as much as we want to see Ange Postecoglou succeed. So, just off the top, I want to start the video with that because I absolutely adore him. God bless him, and what a way to win your first trophy as Celtic manager. I'm going to try and split this video into 2 different parts, talking about the game itself and then the big picture, the kind of aftermath, the result of the game and what that means for Celtic and the current squad. So yeah, let's start off with talking about the game itself, because I have to give some form of review towards that. I've got my notes beside me. I don't really think I need them because it's all straight emotion and straight from the heart, but we're going to try and go through it anyway. The big surprise, well, I say surprise, I knew he was going to do it. I knew Kyogo was going to be playing. I just felt it. You know, so many times I've spoke about this on the channel. He's kept his cards close to his chest. He hasn't told us exactly when players will return. I was on the bus going to the game and everybody was talking about, do you think Kyogo will start? And I kept saying, I think he will. I think he will start. And bang, there he was in the starting lineup. And this final, just like I remember saying, I associate finals you know, with players sometimes, you know, Aberdeen 2, Celtic 1, I associate that as the Rogic final sort of thing. This will always be, for me, the Kyogo final. And hopefully there's more Kyogo finals to come. I'm hoping that's not the only one, but that yesterday, we'll come on to talking about him. That's why I remember it like that. But I knew he was going to start. So that was good news from the offset. We knew exactly how we were going to be playing up top. We had that sort of intensity back and that press and just that overall quality that Kyogo brings to the field. The first half, however, it wasn't the greatest for the neutrals, I suppose. It wasn't the most exciting of halves. But look, Celtic dominated the game. We dominated the possession in the first half. We had the better chances. I would say most of them being half chances. They were either, you know, offside or they were just not good enough. You know, there wasn't anything too great, but we dominated it. We worked hard. We held the ball well and we retained possession well, I should say. And ultimately, it was a performance that in the first half gave me a lot of confidence that we'd go on to win the game and we'd go on to be the better team throughout. I'm trying to look here for anything. Turnbull's injury, that was frustrating in the first half, but really it was just one of those typically Celtic performances where we played really well and we just didn't quite get it clicking in the final third in the opening 45, but that was still to come. The second half, however, that's where it all kicked off. Quite literally, the second half kick-off felt like the kick-off to the entire game. It was the injection of life that Celtic needed. For that feeling of sheer deflation for all 10 seconds of it, I think that gave the team a lift in a way. even though it killed the hopes and dreams of myself for a short amount of time. I mean, very short. I mean, that is one of the wildest, weirdest, and funniest things I have ever seen at a football game in my life. Ever. That whole, goal situation, the way we get our first, them scoring, then us scoring literally seconds later. In a cup final, I've never ever, with my own eyes, at a game, seen anything like it. Quite frankly, one of the most bizarre things ever, but I loved even, in hindsight, obviously, at the time, I didn't love every second of it, but in hindsight, looking at it, I loved every single second of it. The fact that there was such a range of emotions, from being down here to being up here, like that, was absolutely incredible. And watching the video surface of the Hibs fans in the ground, oh, jeez, listen, I don't envy them in any way, but that is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I don't hope it happens to me anytime soon, but I could watch it all day. I could watch that same clip of the sort of change of reaction over and over and over again, because it is top quality content. The goal itself was poor. It was a poor goal to concede. Starfelt does really the bare minimum, to be quite honest, and we needed more from him in that moment. We'll come on to talk about Starfelt. He loses handling manages to get his head on it, and somehow it gets over the line through a block attempt and through Joe Hart trying to claw it away. It does still cross the line and we find ourselves 1-0 down, but that reaction, that response is special stuff, and it's literally everything that we have to know about Ange Postecoglou in this Celtic side. I spoke after the Ross County game and I said that this Celtic side have got something that last season's Celtic side don't, and what is going to take them to new heights under Postecoglou, and that is the fight, the passion, the spirit, and just generally that never give in attitude. Now I know they didn't have to do much because they literally pulled it back seconds later, but remember that video that came out at the start of the season and all the Rangers fans were laughing at it, saying, oh, it's basics of football, oh, that's no special, that. And there was a lot of people being critical of Ange, saying, we don't stop, never stop. If the opposition want to stop, that's good, we'll take advantage of it. Remember that video? That moment after that goal, after Hibs scored, is exactly what that video was all about. And that is what Ange Postecoglou has drilled into this team. And that is special. The way he's got this team fighting, the spirit he's brought them, the way to go on like that. Don't let the heads drop. Go right for it straight from kickoff and get that goal back. It gave me the best feeling on earth. I don't need to tell you that. If you watched the vlog last night, you would see my celebrations. But just generally, that spirit in the team and that fight in the team and the understanding of team to manager is something like I don't think I've ever seen at Celtic in my lifetime. It's truly wonderful to watch, and it's just Kyogo with the first goal it's a tremendous finish too. God bless him, and fantastic to get back in the game so quickly. The importance of getting the goal that quickly is it got us back in the driver's seat. It got us back in control of the game. Now, I don't think we exactly lost control of the game. We never gave them time to take a bit of control. But in cup finals, you drop that first goal, things can just suddenly start falling apart. Things don't go to plan. And it suddenly puts a lot of nerves in you, especially as a supporter. The team have got to try and remain level-headed. They've got to try and keep it composed. But as a supporter, the nerves start building. My nerves started building for all 30 seconds of it. You know what I mean? I was getting very nervous that we didn't have enough time in the clock to claw back a goal, never mind 2 goals, to try and win the game. That's the importance of when we got that goal. That was massive. And it really did calm, I think, a lot of us and the team as well. But just generally kept us in the driving seat. I'm going to talk about Starfelt later on in the video, but he had his ankles broken by Nisbet not long after. Like, it was proper NBA stuff. It was turned inside out, and it was a bad day at the office for Starfelt, but we'll talk about that. We got our second goal. We take the lead, and that is incredible. That goal is sensational. It will stay with me till the day I die. And it's just truly remarkable stuff to have that nerve, that composure, to do that in a cup final, chip the keeper with your first touch of the ball on delivery, from the position he's in, is just truly magical. It is Henrik Larsson-esque. I've heard everyone say it basically, and I've always been worried to draw comparisons even though I done it with Moussa Dembele all the time. I never want to draw comparisons of Henrik Larsson and any other player, because Henrik Larsson is genuinely special. He is up here. He's probably the greatest ever talent that will play in this country in terms of just overall footballing ability. You know, that no one will ever match Henrik Larsson. But that moment in a cup final and that quality of goal is Henrik Larsson-esque. That's what that is. And we are now once again having that conversation of, is he the best since Larsson? We had it with Moussa, we had it with Edouard, now we're having it about Kyogo, and the wee man is certainly making a strong case, a very strong case, because it takes balls first of all, but it takes a considerable amount of talent. And he has it by the bucket load, and he has the confidence at the moment. Remember, he's just back from injury as well, and he's scoring 2 quality goals like that in a cup final. That man, Kyogo, let me rant for a moment positively, is just everything about Celtic on the park. He literally, you know, we spoke about Bertie Auld and how Bertie Auld radiated everything about the club. I feel like we get that energy from Kyogo. You know, no one will ever be Bertie Auld. He's Mr. Celtic, but Kyogo, he runs and he bleeds for the club, and he's just a wee ball of passion. That's the only way I can think of summarising it. He just tries and he works and he just does everything to the maximum level of effort, and he's just never gives in, and he'll do everything for this club. I don't know how long he'll be at this club, because he's that good that people might start wanting a sniff of him down south, but he will give everything while he's here, and he plays his heart out every time he's on that park. He is what Celtic Football Club is about, you know, that passion, that energy. He is something special, and without him yesterday, God knows where we would have been. You know, we've been lacking in certain areas without him and Jota in the team. But if we never had him yesterday, I'd hate to think of what would have happened after that first goal. I'd hate to think about how we would have struggled for goals. He is truly a special footballer. Enjoy every single last second of his time at Celtic. As I said, we played well, second half again as well. We were just like the first, we dominated the ball. Hibs did have a couple of chances, don't get me wrong. They tried to fight and they fought hard, and as the game got closer to the end, you could certainly see them trying to get themselves in the game. There was a couple of chances. You're thinking to yourself, oh God, they're going to end up getting a goal here. That I genuinely thought at one point that it was in the back of the net for them. But we also had our chances. We were unlucky, we hit the post as well. But we've seen the game out. And we've seen it out with confidence, I thought, and when that final whistle went, number one, we fully deserved their win. We deserved that cup, another one in the trophy cabinet. Ange deserved it, but as soon as it went, I just felt such a surge of joy run through me. And in the stadium and the fans around me, just a surge of joy around all of us, because we knew how much we wanted it, and we knew how much Ange wanted it and deserved it. And no one deserves it more than him. The whole team and everything that this rebuild has been. It's been a long 18 months as a Celtic supporter, from a season being called off early when we were going for 9 in a row. Ultimately we won 9 in a row, but when that season was called off early, to the nightmare that was last season, to the rebuild of the summer, to quite a difficult summer, the unknown, diving into the unknown, to get to that moment when the final whistle went. It was such just a surge of joy, and I loved that. And look, it's moments like that that make this club and it's going to make this team in particular a very special group of players. Christ, this is going to be like the longest match recap / review I've ever done, but you know what, there's a lot to talk about. It's a cup final, baby, and not everybody can do cup finals, so I'm going to enjoy myself while I can. Let's talk about Carl Starfelt. I've touched on him a couple of times, and I want to touch on him a little bit further. People are very, 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 very quick to give knee-jerk reactions and jump right in. When something's going good at Celtic, it's the best thing ever. When something's going bad at Celtic, it's the worst thing ever. That's how our fans work. Well, I say not every fan, but some fans. You know, a lot of people are very reactionary, and that's normal. That's really a normal situation, especially in the age of social media and such. It's very easy to be like that. A lot of people sitting saying Carl Starfelt was mince yesterday. He had one bad game. The guy has been in incredible form since signing for Celtic after that kind of dodgy start. He's been fantastic. I think he's conceded something like 2, maybe 3 goals in the Premiership from his time in playing. He has been tremendous. He had a bad day at the office yesterday. He'll pick himself up and we'll see the best of him once more. I'm seeing far too many people giving it that he's going to be torn apart in a second and that he's mince. Calm down. It's one game. He's been cracking for us. I think people are quick to forget some of the great performances he's put in so far in a Celtic jersey. Him and Carter Vickers. What a partnership. Just be patient. Don't do the knee-jerk reaction. He's a great player. And I'm looking forward to his time at Celtic, as long as that lasts as well. Joe Hart, I need to speak about Joe Hart. If you don't know by now, I love him. I adore him. I think he is my favourite player at the club at the moment. I just really love him. Which is mad, because if you go back and capture clips of me when we were signing the guy, I was the most critical and the biggest Joe Hart hater on this planet. That's the truth. And I hate that I was. I take every single bit of it back. I love Joe Hart. Love him. See that video of the Man United fan talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he's like, "You just try so much," and he's nearly greeting. That's how I feel when I'm talking about Joe Hart. I adore him. And what an important addition to this Celtic team Joe Hart has been. He is huge, he's massive, he is decent. I love him with all my heart. But yesterday, once more, Joe Hart just shows the importance of a good goalkeeper, the importance of a leader, and the importance of just someone who's just a winner. You know, he is, and I just love him. And after the game, he was quoted in the media, and he said, "I think these guys just appreciate people who wear their heart on their sleeve," talking about the fans, of course. "I'm not the greatest goalkeeper in the world, but I play with my heart, and I play for the club on my chest." You're the greatest goalkeeper in the universe, Joe. Trust me, I love you. But he's, you know, people were critical, and it wasn't just me. A lot of people were. A lot of people were also very, very happy to sign Joe Hart. There was a kind of split opinion. But now I think we're seeing all Celtic fans really appreciate the goalkeeper Joe Hart is, and I regret ever being critical of him. I genuinely adore him. My dream is to have him on the podcast at this point. I just adore him, and seeing all these videos and seeing him lifting the trophy and everything yesterday, it made me smile so much. I had to get my Joe Hart rant in there, another positive rant. But Joe, you are decent, son. So as I get to the end of this video, God bless Ange Postecoglou, God bless Kyogo Furuhashi, God bless the whole of Celtic and everybody involved with Celtic, including the supporters. That photo/video from the end of the game of Kyogo hugging Ange on the touchline is wholesome. It's the most wholesome content I've ever seen, and it's just, once again, another picture, another moment that sort of embodies everything about this club and this feeling at this club at the moment. And obviously we got that news yesterday that Bernard Higgins is off to fuck as well. So what a day all in. But that is tremendous, that photo, that video. It's just a moment of sheer love of player and manager. And that just sums up the whole relationship of the club at the moment. Fans, supporters, players, manager. It's just amazing. I'm loving it. And look, listen, I wrote this down in my notes, and I just want to read it out very quickly. We go on about how important it is to have winners in our team. We go on about how important it is to have leaders and guys who know how to win, and how important that is in terms of a league season. And, you know, being able to go and compete and challenge a Rangers side, we need winners to do that well. Just to make it very, very clear, this Celtic side, everybody involved in this Celtic side, have won as many trophies, major trophies, as what Rangers have in the last 10 years. Just to clarify. So, we've certainly got winners on our side now. And I am looking forward to what's going to be a very tasty season. No matter which way it goes, I am excited. I am looking forward to it. And hopefully that's the first of many for Ange Postecoglou. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, listening, whatever. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.